My very first rare edition group submission is just about ready to go out the door. But before that happens, I'm gonna take a look at each card and give a prediction on how I think they're gonna grade. You ready? Let's get it. What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Big C7 Cards, and if you guys have been paying attention to the channel at all recently, you guys know that I am extremely pumped about rare edition slabs. You see them in the background, you see the boxes, you see the packs they come in. I'm sold. I'm absolutely sold on rare edition. If you aren't already, then hit the link in the description and let me know, by the way, if you are local to South Florida, because if you are local in South Florida, I am doing monthly group submissions to rare edition.
What are you waiting for? Do it!
It is just $50 per card, flat rate. So that includes shipping, that includes all the input of information into rare edition to get it ready, packing it up, shipping it to them, getting it back, and then giving it all to you guys. With that said, the first group submission ever that I've ever done is right here. 10 cards. And what I want to do right now is I want to evaluate what I think these cards are going to grade before I ship them out. And then we're gonna do a recap video when they come back. Let's see how good I am at grading cards.
Let's find out one.
Now, I'm not taking these out of the cases because the owner of these cards already put the horizontal tape over the top, so I don't wanna mess that up. So surface is going to be a question mark on some of these. I'm gonna go over real quick what I think these are going to grade. First off, we got a 2005 Topps Aaron Rodgers black border rookie. All right, so edges, corners, centering, surface. We're gonna get through this really quick. First off, I called the edges on this an 8.5. Reason why, there is a little bit of whiting on the top. There's a little bit of chipping right there. A little bit right by my left thumb, my nasty thumb right there.
Oh, that's nasty.
You can sort of see a little bit of chipping in the white edges. And I think it was a little bit more pronounced in the back. So you see a little bit of fraying back there. So I gave this an 8.5 on the edges, which I think is pretty fair for a black border card. What about the corners? I called this an 8.5 on the corners as well, mainly because there's a little bit of a ding there and a little soft corner there as well. Come on, focus, man, focus. There we go. The back, little bit of a soft corner in the bottom left, right there. Let me see if I can focus in on it. There we go. But yeah, a little bit of a soft corner there. I had a 9 on the centering. So left to right is a little bit off and top to bottom is a little bit off. It's not crazy, but if you look at the lines, look at the orange lines right there. That line is a little shorter than that one right there. And the distance between the black border and the start of the photograph, it's a little bit shorter here than it is here. And top to bottom, judging from the distance between the top of the foil on anniversary to the top of the black border and the bottom of the quarterback foil here to the bottom of the card, little top to bottom off as well. Surface, again, gonna be a little difficult to judge. I didn't see anything that blows me away on the surface. Next card, we've got another Aaron Rodgers, but it is a white border base. Really nice card. Aaron Rodgers really undervalued right now. I know he's having a bad season, but I mean, he's got a kind of a rough team right now, but hopefully for the sake of the guy grading these cards, Aaron Rodgers comes back and plays like we all know Aaron Rodgers can. Now, I may be completely off on this, but I see the edges here as a 9.5. The edges looked really good, but they didn't look perfect. A little bit on the bottom left there, not anything crazy, but it looked to me like it wouldn't necessarily get a 10. Now on the corners, I gave this an 8.5. Now you might be wondering, why in the world did you give that an 8.5? That's a sharp corner. That's a sharp corner. That is looking like a sharp corner, and that is looking like a sharp corner. So where did I get this an 8.5? I'll show you. Right there. You see on the bottom left right there, there's actually a fold in the corner right there. Centering, I gave it a 9.5. These lines are pretty dang close. Not exact. It's a little bit further to the left than to the right. And top to bottom is a little better than the other one. The back would be near perfect. So 9.5 on the centering on this one. In the surface, I gave this a 9. Reason why is because I don't expect us to get a 9.5 or a really high one, because I suspect that little tiny little dot right there, I don't know if you see it. that really tiny little dot right under the R and T of quarterback. I suspect that that's on card. So if I suspect that that's on card, I'm going to call this a 9 and hope for the best. On to the next card is a Ben Roethlisberger rookie card from Upper Deck. This one, I got a 9 on the edges. There's just a little bit of fraying on the back. You see on the top, just a little bit. I got a 9 on the corners as well. There's a little bit on the bottom left and a little bit of fraying on the corner right there where the card was separated from the sheet. The centering, I gave this an 8.5. Now, if you look online at a BGS 9.5, there is one available with a 10 centering on eBay right now. So that's what I compared it to. That little triangle is supposed to come out to the left a little more. And if you notice, the distance between the B and the end of the card is supposed to be exactly the same as the edge of the upper deck and the end of the card. Guys, this is actually good information for you guys. Knowing how to properly assess your cards before they go out. I'm doing it right now for you. Surface, I have no clue. Next, we got a Warren Sapp rookie card. One of the all-time defensive tackle legends right there. So I gave this an 8 on the edges because there is some fraying around the card. I think mostly on the back and a little bit of edge chipping. If you look under really good light, you may not be able to see it here, so I'm not even gonna bother. So, but I'm guessing an 8 on the edges, 8 on the corners because there was a little bit of a ding and you actually do see a little bit of the edge damage that I'm talking about. A little bit of chipping around that corner there. And on the back, you can see there's a little bit of a ding right there, a little bit of a soft corner, little bit of a softy there, little bit of a softy there. So usually if it's like small little corner damage like that on all 4 corners, it's probably going to pull an 8. So I said an 8. I also put a 7.5 on the centering, and you may look at this and say, where do you get 7.5 in the centering? I'm calling it from the back, guys. The back is way off left to right, like 80-20. So I'm calling a 7.5 in the centering because of that. Hopefully this comes back better. It's very possible this can get an 8 or 8.5 centering. And the surface, again, I really don't know what it's going to grade on the surface. Can't take it out of the case. Next card, we got a Paolo Banchero, Draft Class 2022 from Panini Instant. Pick number 1 to the Orlando Magic. Now, this is a brand new card, just came in from Instant. I expect this to grade fairly well. I've got a 9.5 on the edges. I've got 9.5 on the corners. I don't expect it to be perfect, but I do expect it to grade very well. I've got 9 on the centering, mainly because of top to bottom. So the top of the Panini Instant logo, a little bit off from the bottom of his name there. And then on the back, you got a little bit left to right, and top to bottom is nearly perfect. And the surface, I set a 9. Why? Right there, there's a little bit of a dot right there that I'm suspecting is on card. This is an iconic card, 1989 Score rookie Barry Sanders. In actually pretty decent condition considering how a lot of these are. So I have an 8 on the edges. There's a little bit of whiting around the edges if you look on the right. Some chipping, there's some edge damage there, there's edge damage there. I gave that an 8 on the corners as well because you've got ding there, ding there. Top corners are actually fairly good considering the back is, well, you won't see it that well, but there's a little ding that shows up. 9 on the centering. I think you can see why left to right is a little bit off. Top to bottom is pretty solid though, so that would usually pull a 9 on the centering. Back is also off left to right. Top to bottom is not too bad. So 9 on the centering, and the surface, I don't know. Next we got a modern card. 2019 Mosaic NBA debut, John Morant. NBA season starting tomorrow. Cannot wait. I've got a 9.5 on the edges here, which a lot of these are pretty solid on the edges. There's a little bit of fraying, but I really don't think that they're going to take off for that. Corners, I got a 9 though. A little bit there. They grade these in particular so harshly, and I know they do, primarily because of how high the population was. It's very possible I'm being too harsh on it, but I'm comfortable leaving the corners at a 9. Centering, I gave it a 9.5, judging from the edge of the RC logo and the edge of the Mosaic logo, which is pretty good. The top of the NBA debut there, and the bottom of the jaw here, which is pretty dang close. Surface, I'm just, again, assuming a 9.5. I'm hoping for the best for the first group sub. Now this one is pretty dang cool. A slideshow bronze, Eli Manning. 8.5 on the edges. These are prone to surface damage. I wouldn't even know because I wouldn't be able to take it out. So I gave it a 9.5 on the centering. The centering is pretty solid. Look from here to here, and then the black portion extending from the bottom of the star here, and then the black portion extending from the top of the frame there. 9 corners. Next, we got a O'Neal Cruz 2022 Topps Chrome Baseball rookie card. Getting into some baseball now. and I've got that at a 9 on the edges. There's a little bit of fraying, and again, high population cards, they're going to be possibly a little bit harsh on that. 9 on the corners. I did see a little bit of corner damage right there. I gave the centering a 9.5 because it's pretty dang close. Left right is not perfect. 9 on the surface. There's a little bit of what looks like a little tiny discoloration there. I'm not sure if that's on card or not, but I'm calling that a 9 on the surface. And the last card we got is a Jalen Tolbert 2022 Legacy Orange out of 149. Very close to the last print. Close to the eBay 1 of 1. Very close. Now, this is the only card in the whole stack that I actually gave a 10 subgrade, and that subgrade was on the edges. I cannot see any issues at all with the edges on this card. I would be very surprised if this does not come back as a 10 on the edges. It's just very clean all around, little to no fraying. I gave it a 9.5 on the corners because there is a little bit right there. So again, if it's not perfect, it's going to be a 9.5. I give it a 9.5 on the centering. It's a little bit off left to right and a little bit off top to bottom on the front. That's really the most important part of the card. Back of the card is off a little bit left to right. Top to bottom is a little bit off as well. I may be being a little bit nice on the centering on this card, but I really want to see this grade really well. And I gave it an 8.5 on the surface. Why did I give it an 8.5 on the surface? Because I wanted to give myself room for that dimple. There is a dimple on the card right above the helmet right there. So that usually knocks it down to about a 9, but I'm giving myself a little room and I'm going to call it an 8.5 because again, I can't take it out to see if there are any surface scratches or anything. That right there is going to be the very first Big C7 cards rare edition group submission. I'm so excited to send these out. I needed to do this video before I actually sent them out, so these are going out very soon. Hopefully these cards come back very good for you, and obviously you already know how awesome these slabs are. You are in for an elevated collection. All these cards here are about to get elevated. I can't wait to show you guys the results and see how well I predicted the grades of these cards when they come back. But hey, a lot more coming on this channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell so you know when I'm posting new stuff, because a lot of heat is coming your way very soon. Thank you guys.